Okay, I'm going to get real straight with you for a second. After a breakup, we're often left with all of these lingering questions. What went wrong? Or did they even care? Or are they already moving on? But here's the thing. There are some things that your ex probably doesn't want you to know after a breakup. Why? Because these things are complicated. They're a little bit messy. And they may even be a little bit embarrassing for them. But today I want to peel back the curtain and talk about 3 important things that they don't want you to know after a breakup. And believe me, I've talked with so many people that are dumpers. The first one is this: they still think about you. Now, I know you're probably thinking, yeah, right. They're living their best life. They're having fun. They're totally over me. They don't think about me at all. That's not true. Deep down, your ex still thinks about you more than they'd like to admit to everyone. The truth is, after a breakup, most people don't just instantly forget about the person that they've shared so much of their life with. They may tell others they're fine or not thinking about it, but that's probably not the truth. They might even scroll through your social media from time to time just to see what you're up to, just to see how you're handling everything. They don't want you to know because, well, it makes them feel vulnerable. It hurts their ego. It's hard to admit that someone is still on your mind when you're trying to project this image of being totally unaffected. Number 2, they're still figuring out what went wrong, and if they went wrong down an avenue they shouldn't have gone. Your ex might act like they've got everything figured out, like they've moved on, like they're living in the clarity of their decision. But here's the truth. They're still processing it. They're still trying to make sense of this breakup. They're still wondering if it was the right call, if they made a mistake, or if there's something they could have done differently. And they definitely don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that they're questioning it because it could make them look uncertain or weak. It's easier to act like everything's fine and like they're 100% sure of their decision, even though deep down, they're probably not. And number 3, they still care about you in some way. This one's really kind of tricky. Your ex might act like they're totally over you, like they have no emotional attachment whatsoever. But the truth is, they probably do. Maybe not in the same way they did when the both of you were together, but there's still a part of them, in most of them, that wants the best for you, that hopes you're happy, that remembers all of the good times that the two of you shared. Unless they're completely toxic and completely dysfunctional. I mean, there's a few of those kinds of people out there, but most people don't feel that way. They'll never admit it, though. Why? Because acknowledging that they still care opens up a whole mess of feelings that they're trying so desperately to avoid. It's easier for them to act indifferent, like they're completely detached, like they're an island in themselves. But in reality, there's still some emotional residue there, even if they're not ready to face that yet. So, yeah, after a breakup, your ex might try to play it cool. They might try to pretend that they've got it all together. But here's the truth. They still think about you. They're still confused about the whole thing, and they still care. They just don't want you to know because it makes them feel vulnerable. It pokes at their ego. Or maybe they're just trying to protect themselves from getting hurt even more in life. There's so many things that can happen. But don't worry, you're not alone in feeling all of these complicated emotions that you're feeling. They're probably navigating the same confusing space that you are, just in their own way. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're coming back. And hey, you may not even want them to. But it's important that you know that no one, and I do mean no one, unless they're completely dysfunctional, gets away from a deep relationship without some collateral damage in their own lives. Remember, the higher you climb, the better the view. Let me encourage you to climb higher because you deserve to be happy.